Hello and welcome back, and oh god, what was that? Well, I finally used up a couple of rune points here. Bit of a misclick. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Rune Factory, and if I got some more information for you today. Yes, for you today. I spent, after recording the episode yesterday and sending it up to upload, blah blah, I I decided to go and to check my Animal Crossing farm to see what turnips are selling for, because, you know, my mom texted me in the morning, like, hey, what are your turnips selling for? And I'm like, oh yeah, like 130, I think it's like 163, whatever. It's like a so-so price, and she was all like, good, because, good, I'm desperate to sell my turnips. And it's like, it's not even Saturday yet. What do you mean you're desperate already? It's like, yeah, I just really want to sell them, like, for any sort of a profit. So I'm like, okay, fine, check out what I've done with the island, blah, blah, blah. Check out all the stuff. I had, like, just, bought some pipes and set up a, like, trade area, whatever, for bringing people to the island to get turnips. You know, set up a little pipe system, set up a whole fenced off area so people don't go wandering around the island and getting lost or stealing villagers or whatever. And so anyway, then I went and recorded the episode, checked out, and I was like, yeah, I'll check out, like, what are my turnips selling for now? And it's like 540. It's like 542. It was insane. Like, one inventory worth of turnips was like half an inventory's worth of money bags. It was a lot of money. It's like, okay, cool. So I went, I sold my turnips. I'm like, well, I don't know. Might as well go online and see if people want to come and sell their turnips at my island. Might as well go and help some people. It's a whole community of people helping each other. I'm sure I'll want some help sometime on my own, so I might as well, let people in. So I put up a post like, hey, not sure if I'm doing this right, but you know what? If you want to come on by, and I posted that at about 2 p.m. I had people coming to my island. I had like a wait list of people trying to get to my island for the next like 7 hours. I spent like the next 7 hours just like, oh, we're not completely maxed out on people? Cool, I'll send the invite link to the next person in line. Send it to the next person in line. But then, of course, some people, like, don't get the invite link right away because they went, they were like, hey, give me the code. And they left for like 20 minutes, and then because they weren't expecting to be invited so fast or whatever, some people, like, left, went AFK after like an hour when they finally got the code. So another hour later, they came in to get it. But yeah, people in for it. I had, and least we said, over 100 people come to my island to sell turnips. And like, so people will just like come by, drop off some money bags. Yeah, just come on by, drop off some money bags. Sell the turnips, maybe drop off some money, and then leave. One person gave me like a ABD machine, whatever, basically a banking machine, so my inventory doesn't get completely overfilled with money.
Would you like some?
And it's like, you know what? It's like, I have all the time in the world to just kind of sit here with my game on, do my whatever, other stuff. I need water. Wait, the soil will level up? Anyway, so yeah, that's how I spent pretty much my entire afternoon and part of my evening. Because the store closes at like 10, and somewhere around 9 p.m. it started to peter off because someone else had posted that they had turnips for like a slightly higher price. Like, mine are like 530 and theirs are selling for like 550. So people started being honest, like, well, that one's selling for more. Let's see if I can get in for that one, which, I mean, it makes sense.
Nice.
Like, the people are being helped anyway. And a couple of people were like, hey, let's go on both, and whichever one accepts me first, that's the one I'll go on. And I'm like, alright, you know what? That's fine, whatever. A little bit rude if you don't, uh, if you get the code for both of them and you tell them, it's like, yeah, I'll be there eventually. And, like, if you actually do go to both, one after the other, or you just completely ditch one of them, like, that's kind of rude, but person involved would say, it's like, oh, I have something with work that just popped up. It's like, dude, I saw that you had posted in the other turnip listing. So, yeah, now that I kind of know what to expect if my turnip starts selling for stupid amounts, I, yeah, I've been having a lot of fun playing with, like, the art stuff, like the pixel graphics stuff that you can do, and making little pixel graphics. And I've been, yeah, I've spent a bit of time working on, and I feel like on Friday, you know,
Hannah and I
during
would
the
be pleased to
multi-hour
see
long
you.
trip, that I'll have more time to just work on making my MRS Plays logo on part of my islands. Like, you come onto the island, you see the ruby carpet with, like, the trans flags underneath the sign, underneath, like, the fence post, and there'll be, like, a little area off to the side with, like, the MRS Plays logo. And it's like, hey, and just, yeah, add to, like, the copy and paste if I ever, you know, host a turnip event again, like, hey, just, if you want to leave tips, just leave them on the logo. Who knows? Maybe on Sunday, Daisy May will come by for a whole bunch. Or sell for exceptionally little amounts. Or whatever. Who knows? But it's nice just to have the thing, and generally it is, interesting. Generally it is a nice policy to leave tips, but of course it's not mandatory to leave tips, so I couldn't, like, tell people, it's like, hey, you better leave a tip. It's like, no, I just invite everyone. If someone wants to share the code with all of their friends so all of them can come on and, you know, clog up the traffic for the island and then not leave any tips and just, like, whatever. I've helped out, like, a bunch of people that way. The big issue is that, like, whenever somebody is coming to the island or leaves, everyone on the island has to freeze for, like, a solid minute for every single person. They can't just, like, continue doing their thing, like, continue, like, selling turnips. Like, no. Everyone has to be out of conversation, out of menus, and it will also freeze the game for, like, a minute. Because apparently that's just how it is. I don't know, maybe it's just that way for the host, and everyone else doesn't have to experience such amounts of lag. I just planted my character on a nice little chair, and that was that. I had my character a nice little chair by the pipe, and people are just... Also, I had a donation box set up, but no, donation boxes only take 1,000 bells. You can't set it to take, like, you know, because, like, a bag of bells is 99,000. Like, it would be nice to, like, set that. It's like, hey, do you want... It's like, hey, donate, you know, 1 bag of bells? Okay, bronk. Like, what? Again, one load of turnips would be like 23, 24 bags of bells, something like that. If each one of those people had donated one of those bags per trip, and some people had multiple trips, but 100 times, you know, 99,000. Yeah, that's about as much money as I made, almost 10 million. However, a number of people had multiple trips, so if everyone had left just 1 bag per trip, that would have been overall, you know, more. Burp, burp. So, yeah. I have pixel art set up. How many pixels is it?
Listen to the sound of the forge.
180 across? 160 across. And like 96 up. Well, the pixel art that I found for it is only like 80 up, so I guess I'll have an extra like 16 pixels off the top. But like, whatever. But yeah, just work on that. I have 2 of the 15 pound, because like, have to do it in panels, and I figure a 3x5 would fit it nicely, and it kind of does. And so far it's looking nice. I have 2 of the panels done, and it's really looking like something fancy. I tried to write in a MRS Plays logo just on my own attempt, and it really didn't go well. I mean, it looked okay, but it wasn't like the kind of style that I was aiming for. I was looking for, like, you know, big bold letters that like overlapped each other in such a way that whatever letter's in front is in front, and there's like a thin like line of space from one letter to the next. So it'd be like an M, but like the M has like a leg that's going out, and you can see the R coming up out of that leg. But there's like a little like, you know, line in between the letters, so you can tell that those are 2 separate letters. And then like the you know, the foot, the line off of the R, and like the S is coming out of that, and it kind of like trails into the line of the R and like back out again, where like the tip of the S's tail. And then like say the S goes forward and like interacts with like the P kind of thing. And then that was kind of where I started to falter, because like yeah, trying to like figure out how to put, you know, the L that close to the P, but then it's like, okay, and then like kind of maybe have like the A coming out of the L somewhat, but then A and Y, there's really little area for them to like overlap in, and then Y overlapped with the final S a little bit. But like A and Y, when both are like capitals, there's very little overlap potential between them. One is like they're both triangles, basically. Yeah, I made it and it looked, yeah. But then I started working on the pixel art thing instead, and that's starting to look so much better. But yeah, I figure I can do that, you know, during the trip, get all that planned out. Oh, by the way, special episode coming out Saturday. Don't miss it, y'all. Tower Princess, a Kickstarter that my first ever Kickstarter I ever backed. I got the code for the beta today, so I got to actually play Tower Princess. That game is finally out. It's been like 5 years, I'm sure. It's been like 5 years, hasn't it been? So if I sent 3 years ago, I received it. Yeah, so far though there hasn't really been much of a dating aspect to it, which is like, I'm not gonna say that's the entire reason that I got the game to play, but that was one of the selling points of the game. Was, hey, have a date with the princess while trying to save her from the castle. There hasn't been much dating aspect yet, but I've only played a couple of I've only played for like 2 hours, so I have 2 episodes ready to go up. I feel like I'm going to replace the D&D game and with Tower Princess instead, and I'll at least do a couple of episodes. I'll at least try to get all of the princesses before I abandon this one. There's a prototype at Game Jolt in September 2018. 4 years ago, they had a demo for it. And get Tower Princess with a 25% off discount on the night tier. Digital copy appear in the credits and previous tier rewards. So I guess I'm gonna have to go check out the credits for it to see what I'm accredited as. Am I accredited as my actual name, or is that am I going to be there as Vanillion? Let's find out. Oops. Sorry. It's really weird that, considering I use Vanillion for like everything, why isn't that my YouTube channel? And there's a history for why I use MRS Plays. Night, and then Test night. Access to the beta. I guess I should have done that. And asked them, it's like, hey, is it okay if I like put this up on YouTube to like let people see? Backer card on my skin. Beta tester night. Beta tester badge. Should have done that. Only actually $10. Art night. Soundtrack plus some additional wallpapers, whatevs. Royalty Rescuer. Access to the alpha. Vote for the next Princess's Elite Backer Card weapon. Skin royalty. Blah blah blah. Named night. Name a night. Clearwater. Obviously. That's a great name. Physical night. Physical edition of the game. And a love letter. Neat. Your portrait. Okay, okay. I've been seeing pictures of people in the dungeons. Those are the more knights portraits. Your portrait will appear in the dungeon. Get your own portrait printed in digital.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that. Physical limited edition of the game, blah, 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 blah. Easter night. Help us make the game. Not just with the money, but actually put work into it.
Visit us soon.
Broadsword, musket. Mace and shield. Interesting. Become yourself a new inhabitant of the Dragon's Castle. Design your NPC that will be dwelling in the dungeon, giving some clues to the unfortunate knights. 650 euros or more. Help us design a princess with things like her origin kingdom, her attitude, or her special abilities. 800 euros. Design one of the 8 princesses of the game. Limited. 4 left of 5. Only 1 person selected that as a backing. I guess they had only had plans for 3 princesses, and they had to come up with the rest. And they're like, hey, maybe backers will pay us money to be things. And gosh, it reminds me of the, I would call them the Chronicle cards, which were a neat idea, really.
Brace yourself.
Extra, like, cards, whatever, you could use for while playing, like, D&D. And they'd give you, like, extra, or not give you extra stuff. They provide extra information on NPCs. So it's like, oh, well, this one is not just a goblin, it's a acid-breathing goblin. And you could pay in, like, was it $10 for all the decks, or you could pay in, honestly, I think it was probably like an extra $100 to, like, design a card while also getting all the decks. I should actually take a look-see at it, because I have Kickstarter open anyway. Show more pledges.
Everyone needs a little adventure now and then.
Got that. Oh yeah, this. Chronicle cards. AU $165 is what I had pledged. Pledge AU 130 or more, then why did I pledge an extra $35 on top of that? I don't know what that is in Canadian, but only 2 people. Like, I had actually messaged the creators personally, because they had, like, an immortality pledge that was, like, design a card and also get a deck. But I wanted to get all of the decks, and I didn't want to, like, you know, pledge for a card and also get... and also have to pledge for all the decks. Like, can I just get both at, like, a discount? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, they made the Immortality Plus pledge. Just because of that. So yeah, 4 decks with 4 bags, custom art commission, and print to play PDF. Yeah, custom art. They handled the art. They asked me, like, what I'd wanted of it. And yeah, I have that sitting around somewhere. It is my ultimate dream that at some point, 10, 20 years from now, someone will be playing with Chronicle cards, and, like, I'll be, like, invited to, like, a game. It's like, hey, let's play this tabletop game. I found these old, like, Chronicle cards, whatever. And it'll be nothing to do with me for once. And they'll, like, be flipping up, and it's like, oh yeah, the Wings of Clearwater. Hey, Claire, that's your name, isn't it? I'm like, yep. Complete with the knowledge that that's my card.
Come visit us sometime.
And pledge at least $1 and you get a PDF with, like, 20 of the cards taken from various stacks. $20 USD and you get 1 deck. Extra $5 to also get a bag. $40 to get all 4 decks. $75 to get a personalized card design, also 1 deck. So it'd be like 115, right? No, maybe. Yeah, 115 to get the card and also, oh no, the digital decks, not the physical decks. 85 to get all 4 decks in physical. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, it's...
All right.
I want to throw that away.
One, 2, there.
I'm getting a lot of these, okay? I'm going to fill my inventory with these. I don't care at this point.
Come on, we've got investigating to do.
So, yeah. My day yesterday was just spent bringing people onto the island and whatever, and... yeah, if I had an MRS Plays logo and just with the whole, like... where I was like, here's the code, and if you want to leave a tip, you can leave it on the logo. And then people, like, just walking by, it's like, oh, MRS Plays, what's that? And it's like, oh, that's my YouTube channel. I mean, extra 100 people, that would, like, triple my sub count. Triple. It would, like, quadruple it. I have, like, 20 subs. However, I don't do this for the subs. I do this for an excuse to play video games. Speaking of which, I still have to do some D&D. I have to do Danganronpa today. That's for sure. I can do the next Rune Factory episode. Yeah, I can do the next Rune Factory episode and the D&D episode both tomorrow. But I have to do Danganronpa today. So once I've done with I'm going to see if my Danganronpa partner is ready, and if he's not up for doing it today, I'll just go in on... I'll see if I can get some random partner to do it with. Or... Cut the Danganronpa, replace it with No. Can't replace it with Tower Princess. If I can't manage to find someone to do Danganronpa with, I'll probably just replace it with another Gloomhaven episode, but I'm starting to run short of extra Gloomhaven episodes. Oh wait, it's already 3 a.m. At least next episode should be interesting. I'll start crafting things. I don't remember what I wanted to craft, but I wanted to craft some stuff, right?
We've got work to do.
But yeah, I could just see myself in the car there holding up a nice little conversation with Kira. That's actually... It's not tomorrow. That's in 2 days. Yeah. Hopefully I get everything back there. Oh, by the way, I know I said that my Planeswalker deck was going to be the last physical deck that I actually bought the cards for, but I had I had another stupid deck idea because I can't get enough Rumori. And another stupid deck idea with it, and I couldn't help myself but to build it, because Rumori says that you can have it as a companion if all of the non-land cards in your deck share a card type. That's the wording. Card type. Nice. So card types are creatures. So okay, any legendary creature, as long as it has black and green in its color identity as your commander, only have lands and creatures in your deck. Okay, easy enough. You could do an artifact. There are a few legendary artifact creatures with black and green in their color identity, and then you could just have artifacts and lands in your deck. That's easy enough. You could do enchantments. You go with Go Shintai, legendary enchantment creature that has Rubric color identity, all 5 color identity, and have only enchantments in your deck, and that would probably be a pretty strong deck, because the Go Shintai deck normally runs a ton of enchantments anyway, because there are quite a few enchantment creatures and enchantments that make creatures. That would be a pretty good deck. Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers are card type. So it's okay, yeah. I mean, I made that. You could do that with Grist, which is black-green. Lord Windgrace, black-green-red, which says it could be a commander. And now with Jared Kahelion. Ruberg, and says that it can be your commander. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. But when it comes to card types, there are a few others. There's lands, which there are no actual flat-out lands that can legally be a commander.
Alright,
and Umori says, non-lands, so you could have lands and also something else, so why just do it only lands? You could, but why? There's instants and sorceries, which, as of the time being, you can't have an instant or sorcery as your commander. There is one legendary creature that is a sorcery on the back, but stuff like Yomori counts the front side, not the back side, so it doesn't care about those. So it doesn't care about that, and that doesn't even have green color identity. I would make it as a deck and run the house wall of hey, Yomori is technically black-green hybrid mana, just allow it, please and thank you. But there is the issue of the backside, and I could totally run that nice Rakdos, have all sorceries deck. I could do that. Instant would be a bit harder to have an argument for, but could also be more fun. Being able to do stuff at instant speed instead of sorcery speed would be nice. And yeah, that's the 7 card types, right? Artifact, enchantment, creature, planeswalker, land, instant, sorcery. But there's not 7 card
Any
types.
examples for me?
There are 8 card types. For example, if you look at Tarmogoyf, way back in its original Future Sight printing, it told you what the 8 card types were. And it told you that in addition to those 7 that I had mentioned, Tribal is a card type. It's not a super type, like Legendary or Snow. It's not like, a subtype, like, say, Construct, or Background, or Forest. Tribal is a card type. So if you could get a Tribal Commander in Golgari in black and green, you could have an entire Commander deck that's mono-tribal. Or, as I like to call it, Tribal. It's a Tribal Commander deck. How awesomely, stupidly, ridiculously cool is that?
Nothing I can't steal.
Tribal Commander deck. There are 55 tribal cards in all of Magic. A lot of them are not very good. Some of them are really good. There's like 3 that are like $40 each, and most are under $1. Like, fortunately, 2 of the expensive ones I already have. All Is Dust and Ultrasic Conscription, because I used to run a colorless deck that used both of them. Now my colorless deck doesn't run either of them. But yeah. Figure out something to do with the commander. So my thoughts are either more, because this has to be 5 color if I want to run all of the tribal cards. Either use Morphon, 5 color identity changeling, so it's all creature types, and that works with tribal because they want creatures with certain types.
Nice. All right.
So it's like, okay, I could do Morphon, or I could do 5 Prismatic Pipers. 5 mana, 3/3, with partner. If it's your commander, choose a color before the game begins. It is that chosen color. But it's like, why not? So, strictly speaking, you could have one. It's made for draft. It was made for draft back in like the Commander Legends, one of the Commander products, when they introduced a bunch of monocolored partners. So if somebody drafted a nice like 2-color deck, but they didn't draft like 2 commanders to use with it, they wouldn't be completely locked out. They could just use 1 or 2 Prismatic Pipers and have those as their commanders. So it's like, haha, I got my red-green deck. Oh no, but I don't have any green legendary creatures, so I can't use all these green cards. Like, just use a Prismatic Piper and you're fine. You don't have to, lose all those green cards just because you are too late in getting a commander for it. You're fine. So they had a Prismatic Piper, like, at common. It's dirt cheap. Because it's essentially a vanilla 5 mana 3/3. If it was a vanilla 3 mana 5/5, that would be nice.
Everyone needs a little adventure.
Maybe not nice enough for a commander play, but it would be nice. But nope, 5 mana 3/3. It's just there for the color identity. So why not spice it up a little bit? 5 of them so I can play Ruborg. Also cut my deck down by, 3 extra cards. 4 extra cards, so for more fun. But have each one be not only a color, but 2 creature types. So I could have, like, the blue Merfolk Wizard, the red Goblin Shaman, the white Giant... I forget, was it a Giant Soldier? Yeah, the Giant Soldier of Stone! Where's my Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Let me grab some of those. Yeah, it's the white one. It's the Giant Soldier of Stone. As a...
Nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be the idea now. And, so yeah, that would be the... Because there are tribal cards like, oh, whenever a merfolk you control attacks, do this. So it's like, well, if I don't have any merfolk, that's pointless.
Can't wait to hear more about your adventures.
If there were a lot more tribal cards, I could definitely, like, put something in with them. Also, I decided to buy the Mutavault land for the purpose of... It's a land, so I can run the deck without any problems, but it can animate into a creature of every creature type. I think there's another land that can also do that, but it was a bit more expensive or required snow mana or something, and so I didn't really look at it. But Mood Evolved is a classic. Just turns into a 2/2, but it's all creature type, so it works with all of my tribal stuff. It's perfect. And so, like, with this, it's like, okay, like, you know, the Black Fairy Rogue is, Sin Out. It's like Sin Out over here. Also, it seems like with all these tribal things, each, like, tribe has, like, 2 colors to it. Like, fairies are, like, black and blue. Rogues are black and blue. Goblins are black and red. Tree folk, like, green, white. And, like, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, giant tree folk, I think, was the original idea. Specifically because the 10 types that... I found 10 types that actually show up on the tribal cards as stuff you need to have a creature already be. Like, there are ones that's like, hey, such and such... Turn a such and such creature into a tree folk. It's like, well, you don't need a tree folk to do it. You don't need a creature of, like, that type in order to play the tribal card. It just works with that type. But yeah, tribal is made as a card type, I'm pretty sure specifically to buff Tarmogoyf, to give Tarmogoyf an extra 1 point. Because remember, Planeswalkers were not out yet when Tarmogoyf was out. So it's just creatures, artifacts, enchantments, lands. Creatures, artifacts, enchantments, lands, instants, and sorceries. So there were only 6 card types back then. And so they're like, okay, Planeswalker, because they knew they wanted to introduce Planeswalkers and were going to introduce them in Future Sight, but then they didn't, which sucks, because the Planeswalker would look epic in the Future Sight border. And then they also put in some tribal cards. I believe there might have been... There was at least 1 tribal card that was in Future Sight. I don't know if they already existed before, but they did put at least 1 tribal card in Future Sight. Lauren and Morningtide also had a lot of tribals. So yeah, a rather stupid deck idea, but Umori, but this solves the issue, because for years I've never had a proper tribal deck, and now no one can argue that this isn't a tribal deck! It's like, what are you talking about? This is not a tribal deck. It's tribal, isn't it? Yeah, unfortunately, there's no, like... There's not even a legendary tribal card. But yeah, I, like, posted in Discord. It's like, oh yeah, Yumori, but choose tribal as the type. And so I was like, nope, tribal's a super type. No, sorry, tribal's a super type. You can't do it. It's like, oh, Archon Shreya. I checked. Tribal is a card type. It works. There's no reason why anyone would do it, because it's so, like, low-powered. And it's like, you might as well be doing, like, enchantments. But, I mean, this is... I mean, I was gonna say this is the only way that you can have Omori while also having instants and sorceries in the deck. But... yeah, because if a card is an instant or sorcery, it can't be any other card types other than tribal. I don't think that there are any tribal creature cards. There are tribal enchantments, there are tribal artifacts. I know there's at least 2 tribal equipments. No, at least 3 tribal equipments. So there are tribal enchantments, tribal artifacts, tribal instant and sorceries. I don't think there are any tribal lands. And no tribal planeswalkers. Now that would be interesting. Yeah, make an argument for throwing in some Garuks. It's like, okay, what exactly... It's like, no, so far the basic seed of the deck is like, basically all 55 of the tribal cards, 5, whatever, 5 Prismatic Pipers I'm going to alter as being, like, whatever. Goblin Shamans. Giant Soldier of Stone. Whatever. alter them in, you know, such their regard. And then it would be like 40 lands.
Come on, hurry up already.
So, yeah. I didn't buy a whole new land base for it, but figure I'd just, you know, use the land base I'm using for my 5-color planeswalkers, and then also throw in, like, an extra 7 lands. And it's like, okay, boom, 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 this is what it is. Please accept it for what it is. Thank you. Yeah, keep an eye on the time. Keep an eye on that time. Looks like next episode I'll finally be able to, like, use these seeds for things. And we'll go back and I'll plant... How many do I have to plant? Like, 3? I think I have to plant, like, 3 of these.
Welcome back.
4. 1 to ship out the crop. 1 to turn the crop into the meal to ship that out. 1 to turn into a headdress to ship out. 1 to turn into a headdress to turn into the other headdress to ship out. I'll do 5 in case I want to keep the fancy headdress. So I'll need to go and plant 5 seeds. And I might as well do that before sleeping. Alright, let's go harvest this and let's go and plant the 5 seeds.
Nice. All right.
Do I just want to plant them right here? You know what? Screw it. Let's plant them literally right here.
There we go.
1,
There you go.
2,
Easy does it.
3,
There you go.
4. Oh, right. Shoot, 5. Yeah.
Easy does it.
I guess I'll plant a 6.
Easy does it. Easy does it. Hi-ya!
I was gonna just plant 5, but then I didn't plant them in, like, a box, so I was all like, well, why not just plant, like, a few more, get them all in a box. 8 might be a bit overkill, but you know what? It's fine. It's better to have more than not enough, right?
Let the adventuration begin!
Whoop, whoop. So yeah, I have my Umori Planeswalker deck coming in. Or that I'll be able to pick up there, and then also coming in. Apparently I have a package from USPS that's supposed to be here, and I got like a message about it yesterday that's like, oh hey, we tried to deliver it. Come to our website to find out where you can pick it up, because we didn't leave a note. I got an email today, it's like, oh, we tried to deliver your package, but we didn't have your address to deliver your package. So we sent you an email so you can click on this link and verify your email with us. And like I checked the email address that sent it, and it's, from what I see, it seems like it's actually like legit and like they have a website. But then I checked a little bit more, and I found it's like, yeah, they have a website that was made like a month ago. And now that I've got my secret layer in the mail, I'm trying to figure out, it's like, okay, well, what do I actually, like, what am I actually waiting for in the mail? Like, what's supposed to be here that's not already here? What have I got waiting for now? Is it the cards from TCG Player? Because those aren't supposed to be here yet. Even though that is USPS, but as of 3 days ago, they were in, like, New Jersey. It's like, what, are they already here? I think when I'm done with this episode, I'll set it to upload, and then I'll go down and check the mail and really make sure to check all around to see if the USPS, like, left a note or something. Because I think I've had emails from USPS before, and it wasn't this email domain. So it seems like it's just one of those scam emails. It's like, hey, click on this link, wink, wink, we're going to corrupt your computer with malware and, like, hold you hostage and then tell you that there's malware on your computer and, like, give you a phone call and say that we can clear it up as long as you give us all of the money in your bank account, wink, wink. Which, if you think about it, is kind of scummy behavior, but that's kind of the entire point, right? Yeah, I think the other thing is, Rune Factory 5 time moves more slowly, but in Rune Factory 4 you could move faster. It also had shorter loading screens. I think I can do one more trip as well. You know what? I have an idea. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Easy does it. There you go. Easy does it. Easy does it. Easy does it. Watering time. I hope it comes out okay. Grow big and strong, okay?
Cinnamon, you're not helping.
Grow big and strong, okay? Grow big and strong, okay?
This button, go back home, save. And I think that would be this episode, and then next episode I'll start with figuring out what I have to make. In the episode afterwards, I'll be back to talk about my trip and playing cards and talking about how that one day will have been. Hey, controller, you gonna work, maybe? Because it'd be nice if you could work. Okay, well, now Cinnamon wants Snuggles. I need to go and check to see if there's something actually from USPS or not. So I'm going to be leaving it here, and I'll be back eventually.